You're gone and I gotta stay high.
Carl Frampton is only chasing featherweight division's big dog Shane McGuigan. Getty. Carl Frampton is only chasing the big dogs. Frampton's trainer is wary of how his charge will react to his first defeat as he goes up against Mexican Andres Gutierrez on Saturday night in Belfast. The former two-weight world champion lost his WBA featherweight in a close clash with Leo Santa Cruz in Las Vegas in January. But should he overcome Gutierrez, then McGuigan believes it will be only huge fights as he enters the final stage of his career. With belts being thrown around left, right and center these days, he's achieved and he wants the big names rather than the belts, said McGuigan. He wants to be mixing it with the big dogs, whether that's Lee Selby, Santa Cruz or whoever. We want to match him with big names that sell out in 2 or 3 minutes and we want to take him back to America. Carl Frampton's trainer Shane McGuigan: we need to make sure if he's got 4 or 5 fights left in him that they're good fights. There's no point being in this game if you're going to keep going through the motions. The day that he feels he isn't the best fighter in the world is the day I'm going to tell him to pack it in. But he does feel that he's the best fighter in the featherweight division, and it was definitely a bit of a knock of his ego, coming off the back of a loss, and we were so confident going into that fight. We'll come again, and we feel Saturday night is the next chapter in his career and one that I'm excited about because we can see finish line. It's like running a marathon and you can see that 20-mile mark and you've got around 6 miles to go and your legs are heavy, but we're going to crack on through, get some big fights and finish strong. Frampton is planning 5 fights before he quits the sport and wants to become a 4-time world champion as well as winning a title at super featherweight. He also wants to get revenge against Santa Cruz in a 3rd fight with a domestic duel with IBF champion Lee Selby also in his sights. But first he has to come through this test on Saturday night against Gutierrez. This is a fight that's necessary from an emotional standpoint. Coming off a loss, he needs to get his mojo back, win and look impressive doing so, said McGuigan. He has to prove it to himself that he's still who he was. It's hard to know how Carl is going to react to a defeat. It's one thing doing it in the gym, it's another thing doing it out on the main stage, but I think we've only had 1 or 2 off nights when it comes to Frampton, which is probably the Robbie Turley fight, and it wasn't a massive off night for the 2nd Santa Cruz fight, but he was maybe 80%.